Well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Harden here at Zero Global Headquarters here in, well, I guess it's kind of sunny out there today, Northern California. Hope all of you are doing well. Thanks again for joining us for another ZeroCast. This is our third ZeroCast since we started doing these things, these one-to-one sessions with you guys out there. Kind of bringing you inside the Zero company here to let you see what's going on internally and share ideas and thoughts and information about the development of EV motorcycles and Zero motorcycles in particular. Today's presentation is going to focus on our new 2016 model line. We're really excited about that. Joining me today is Abe Ashkenazi, our CTO. Abe's joining us remotely from a very top secret destination. If you knew where he was and what he was up to, we'd have to kill all of you guys out there. But Abe's joining us remotely and will be participating in this new model presentation. So thanks, Abe. Abe, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
All right, Abe. Well, thanks a lot. Well, listen, guys, without any further ado, I'm going to get started here with the presentation. We're going to have a presentation for you here, to PowerPoint presentation we want to walk you through that kind of goes over the new models. I know you guys have been scouring the internet and looking through all the information, and you're probably well up to speed on all of the things that were announced at AIM Expo last week. I mean, or 2 weeks ago, I have to tell you, it was just a tremendous experience to be there, to see all the excitement and attention and everything around Zero. Our booth there, our exhibit there was absolutely second to none. We had comments from the heads of Yamaha and Honda and a lot of the major OEMs just how well our booth looked and how great the bikes looked there. A lot of great props there. They had a great press presentation or press area to do the presentations in. We were really one of the stars of the show, I'd have to say, with the global announcement we made on the new Zero DSR and the new FXS. Lots of interviews were conducted there. We were doing demo rides back there. We did over close to 250 demo rides over 2 days of the consumer days. We were heavily involved in the AMA Hall of Fame as a presenting sponsor of the AMA Hall of Fame. We actually, I don't know if many people know this, but Zero Motorcycles actually pays for the rings that all of the AMA Hall of Fame inductees get as members of the institution. And Zero's funding that and has been for the last 5 years. So there again, we were in great company at the AMA Hall of Fame that took place. But it was just a great time for the company, a really proud moment for all of us that have worked so hard to build the company up to this point and to have such a dramatic new product line. Very quickly here, I'd just like to run through the model line presentation. This is what we gave the global press back there. I'm sure many of you will have questions. There'll be a question and answer period following this presentation, and you can pick Abe's brain and my brain and dive deeper into some of the technology and some of the decisions we made as far as moving forward with the 2016 line. So first, let's have a quick video, just kind of shared some of the excitement that was at the show. Yeah, that's a great video. It really kind of shows a lot of the emotion around the product that we sell, and really how much the product line has grown since we started on this project some 8 years ago. Zero's really come a long way in the last few years. Very proud to say that for the 6th year in a row, we've introduced a completely new model line with a lot of substantial new features and improvements and new bells and whistles on the bikes, everything to just make them more attractive, more higher performance, more range, more functionality into the bikes, better looking designs. Everything around it. It's just been a phenomenal growth period. I think the hat's really off to the engineering team here at Zero for what they've done in such a short period of time. Certainly Abe and the guys haven't been sleeping much, that's for sure. This year our sales were up almost 30% globally. We had a great year. We've expanded into several major new markets. We're opening up new dealerships to the tune of 4, 5, or 6 a month around the United States and in Europe. We're gaining the respect of the motorcycle industry. The consumers are out there, the press for sure. It's just been a great period for Zero. And we have a lot of people to be thankful for as a result of all that, but mostly our customers. It's really without the support and the belief and the confidence that you placed in us that we've been able to do all of this. We couldn't continue to invest in all of this stuff. Our investors wouldn't have the confidence to continue to put the money up to improve the product line, to improve the designs, to make the bikes better each year if they didn't see growth coming from the company. And we are achieving that. So again, a great year for the company and a great backdrop going into 2016 with the results from 2015 to launch our new product line. So without any further ado, I'd like to turn the PowerPoint, the presentation, over to Abe and let him walk you through some of the new technical features and improvements. Again, at the end of the presentation here, we'd love to take questions and answer everybody's questions out there about the product line. Again, some of the decisions that were made, how the bikes ended up the way they are, what our thinking was. So, be prepared. This is a two-way street here. It's the communication that's coming into us is just as important as the communication that's going out. So, Abe, I'll turn it over to you and let you get started.
Sounds great. Thank you, Scott. Welcome, everyone, again. I'd like to just do a couple of 3 slides so we can get through this and start taking your questions. I did read some comments during our first ZeroCast where I participated that, some of you thought that it was a little too much on the PowerPoint side. So we'll try to keep this somewhat short to take your questions. So first, and I'm going to have to let the guys in Scotts Valley know what slide I'm on because I'm from remote. So slide 5. About the battery. As you guys know, this whole EV thing is really about the battery, and we're so excited. We're so excited about the new chemistry that we're introducing with the motorcycles this year. This new chemistry was co-developed with our partner, Ferris, the company that's headquartered in the Bay Area, which it's a wonderful relationship in terms of being really close to them so that we can go visit, they can come visit, and we can collaborate on these things. And what's really neat about the new chemistry is not only the higher capacity, which is always great, but the fact that it's actually much more efficient than past chemistries at delivering the capacity. So we got gains in range this year that were beyond the gains that just the capacity itself would have yielded. So we're very excited about this chemistry. We're now back to common chemistry across both platforms, both the FX family of bikes and the SDS family of bikes. I just can't say enough about how wonderful and how excited we are about this new chemistry. At the end of the day, you see the numbers here on the slide that we're close to 200 miles in the city on the S and the SR, close to 100 miles at 70 miles an hour with a power tank. A bump on the SPS of about, close to 10%, based on both capacity and efficiency. But on the FX line, even more significant is the bump they get, with closer to 20%. Based on the fact that family of bikes did not get a chemistry improvement for 15. So this is, the first time that they get a chemistry improvement. And again, the new chemistry works, really nicely on those bikes as well. So, last point on the slide, we continue to be, by necessity, by the way, because a motorcycle, unlike a car is a big thing. You can package a big battery. There's lots of real estate. Unlike a car, a motorcycle, we got to fit a battery between the front and rear tire, and between the ground and you. So we have very limited space. So energy density and power density, because we have to provide high power with this battery. It's critically important for Zero, and we have the most energy dense and the most power dense battery packs in the industry, bar none. We confidently make that statement because it is true. So there you go. Next slide. We talk about faster charging, right? So not only are we concerned with getting you further with our new chemistry, but also charging faster. As you guys may remember, some of you may remember. That originally we were focusing on DC fast charging with our Shadamo accessory. Unfortunately, the automotive industry has made a bit of a mess of the whole DC fast charging because of the different standards, and even within the standards, some adherence to standards. So we're going to have to wait until that does settle a bit, and now we're focusing on the AC side of fast charging. With our charge tank accessory, which allows you to charge on the SPS vehicles about 3 times as fast as with the onboard charger, and use the infrastructure that's most deployed, which is the AC public charging infrastructure that you find at Walgreens and in all kinds of different places. A lot of hotels are now putting that infrastructure in place as well. So this really plays into the convenience of riding to different destinations and being able to plug in and charge much more quickly. The last point is a good one to make, that up to 53 miles an hour of charging, right? If you're charging at one of these stations, every hour that you charge, you get 53 miles of range, which is pretty neat. So all in all, a very nice accessory to complement our power tank accessory. So for those who just want to ride further and charging fast is not, really a concern because you're charging at night, you get to add a power tank. But for those that, are more interested in charging faster, you can do this. We still have our off-board charging accessories that we've had since the beginning, basically. And you can still get those, and it's fixed. Quicker charging is your cup of tea. You can go with those. But this goes along with the bike, and again, another great accessory. Next slide is about I guess I would say the other heart of the motorcycle, which is our motor. This one is really I'm so very proud of the team. I think most of you or some of you know our director of powertrain, Ryan Bifford. He's been working on this design for a very long time. And it's just, we're just so very proud to have delivered it. So, an interior permanent magnet, a rotor design, versus the surface mount, design that we've had since 2013. And the wonderful thing about this design is, it is a more efficient design as we get the magnets further away from the stator, from where the heat is generated, and also from some electromagnetic concerns. We are able to actually create a more efficient motor. The trick all along was that traditionally, interior permanent magnet motors have not been as powerful or as, have not delivered the torque that a surface magnet motor does. So Ryan has been working on simulation for I guess a couple of years, I would say at least, on optimizing the design so that it would deliver as much torque, as much power, but in an interior magnet that would be more efficient and more thermally capable. So this has been a labor of love, and we're really, really proud of it. I should also note that Ryan is also, we all are, everyone at Zero is very concerned with weight or limiting weight or reducing weight, making our vehicles as light as possible for you guys to enjoy them as much as possible. And rotational weight, as a rotor in a motor rotates, has to do, affects the response of the motor. So we were very, another thing that we did was do a lot of optimization analysis on the structure of the rotor, which you'll see at the bottom of the slide, the second little image there at the bottom. It's the structural optimization that we did to deliver a very light rotor that's both electromagnetically optimized and structurally optimized. We have a patent pending on this rotor. We're very, very, very proud of this motor. So anyway, ride harder and more than anything, higher sustained top speed, which is especially important for the SR and the new DSR. Let me just say just a couple of things before I pass it back to Scott. There's other smaller improvements on the vehicle, some cosmetic, some ergonomics. I should say that, we're getting a little more bandwidth to focus on more and more things, and listen to or test riders who are the same engineers who are developing these vehicles, as well as we do spend a lot of time in the forums listening to you guys as well as all the press stuff. We did hear that the ergonomics could be improved. So we have a new brake pedal that has better ergonomics and better adjustability. And on the FX family as well as the DS family, we have a taller handlebar that also improves the ergonomics as well. So that's just a couple of the additional changes that we made to improve the ride. So with all of that, back to Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Abe. I mean, obviously the areas that were most important to everybody, range, recharging capabilities, the performance of the motor. It's great to see your team just focused on those so much and the results that's been achieved. For those of us that have been fortunate enough to have ridden the bikes, there is a big difference now between the bikes and when they go into thermal. When they reach their thermal limit. It's very hard to get the bike to reach its thermal limit. You can pound these things pretty darn hard, and they just keep going and going and going. So obviously, for some of us and some people out there, this was a major issue, and it's great to see the progress that was made. I'm just going to move on here real quickly to introduce the rest of the product line here to you very quickly, and we'll get to the two stars of the product line here at the end. So the 2016 line starts with our base line product, the S, the DS, the FX, and the SR. These four models have been in the line the last few years. They've been very popular. They each have their own following and their own customers that are focused on these products. We've designed them with specific applications and specific applications and use cases. The Street Fighter, the Zero S Street Fighter, now has up to 197 miles of range with the power tank. The 54 horsepower and 68 foot-pounds of torque. The base MSRP now is down to $10,995, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. The Zero SR, of course, is back in the line. That has been our best-selling model, Zero, this past year. It's kind of interesting to see how the popularity of it really grew. Up until this last year, our product line was almost equally split in fourths in terms of demand. About 25% of the sales were S sales, 25% were DS, 25% were FX, and 25% SR. SR this year has taken on a little bit more popularity, which kind of directed us in the direction of the DSR as well, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Of course, the Dual Sport is back. The DS is back. Really popular for guys that like a bike with the neutral seating position and upright seating position, the longer travel, and like to go off-road occasionally. And then last but not least, the FX Stealth Fighter. Again, the FX Stealth Fighter has been named the most entertaining, one of the most entertaining motorcycles in the world. But this year it's getting a nasty twin brother to join it, and we can't wait to see the response of the press to what we've created out of the FX moving forward. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our new 9.8 models that we've come out with this year. One of the things that was clear that we've been hearing over and over is some people are looking for a very good basic transportation bike, something that they can ride every day. And with the improvements that we've made in battery chemistry and efficiency, it's allowed us to actually make a 3-brick model with real good range. And the benefits are, as many of you know, this bike is extremely nimble and stable with a real low weight, and he still has the same performance values as the standard S model. But you take away 45 pounds of weight from the bike, the simple acceleration, no clutch, always being in the right gear, and you put it into this bike, and this bike is just amazing to ride. It's like between an FX and a full-blown S model, in the way that it feels between your legs, and it really does provide a very unique, very lightweight, almost seamless feel to the bike. Best of all, an MSRP of $10,995. You know, as we know, we lowered the prices mid-year in 2015, and we've kept the prices low this year, and now we have an S model that's available for just a little over 10 grand. So we really think that this model is going to be the right model for a big segment of customers. And of course, if we did an S, we would have to do a DS model as well. So again, both of these models, ZF 9.8 models, are we're really focusing on this year. We do believe that that's going to open up the market for us, especially at this price point. All the same value, all the same great things that you expect from Zero, but at a very, very attractive price point. So having kind of told you what you probably already know about the existing line, let's just get into the two new models and have a real healthy discussion about it. And I'm going to turn it back over to Abe here in just a second, but before I do, let's look at a cool video.
You ready for me, Scott?
I'm all set, Abe. Just tell us about the new DSR.
Excellent. Yeah, I didn't know if the video had finished. The DSR, not a lot to say other than it's a very entertaining ride. It's basically the SR powertrain on the DS. A lot of you had mentioned that adventure sport, being able to go off-road was your cup of tea with a larger bike and more range than the FX. but with higher power, with more torque, more power. And this bike is just, it's very entertaining. It's a very, very, very fun bike. And for those who are taller, those who are larger, the DS fits better. So it's also become a favorite, for some of the, larger people in our staff, relative to, the SR. So I think it gives a really nice choice between, an adventure sport, larger ergonomic sort of thing, and a true naked sport bike like the SR. Very excited about this bike, it does, both the SR and the DSR continue with the high temperature magnet. So even the IPM motor is different between the SDS and the SR DSR, in that we do have those high temp magnets to even give you higher performance, higher levels of performance. Very entertaining ride. And I think we're jumping to the FXS video, Scott.
Yeah, we are. I mean, the adventure market is one of the fastest growing segments in the motorcycle industry today, especially the performance into the adventure market. And it's great to see Zero have, an option for those guys to consider. So now let's talk about a real quick introduction on the FXS, starting with just a quick video. Okay. I have to say that the guys had an amazing time out there on the track with these bikes, shooting the video. It was they were up for anything we threw at them that day. So, Abe, tell us all about the FXS.
This is for me personally, and for a lot of members of the team, the most exciting bike we've developed, in a long time. It is everyone's favorite. I mean, it is really a magical motorcycle. It is very, very smooth, very agile, very fun. It's got all the, everything for those of you who have ridden FXs before, and for those who'd like to focus your riding on the street. This takes, all the great things about the FX, how fun that bike is, and really tunes it for the street. And it's just a very entertaining ride. I really recommend that even those who don't think that the range of the FX series is something that fits your lifestyle, that you go test ride this bike just to experience it, because it really is. It has become, the class favorite here at Zero Motorcycle, especially for the test riders and the engineering team. We're really excited about this bike. I should also note that because of the street tires and its lower stance, which, improve aerodynamics a little bit, it does have better range than the FX. So you get, about 90 miles of city range on this bike, so close to 100 miles of city range, which is fantastic on such a light bike, and at the lower cost, entry point. So anyway, really excited about the FXS, and I think, Scott, that we're moving on to the last slide, and I'm going to start taking questions.
Yeah, actually, Abe, we are. We're kind of at the end. Just a few words from my side on the FXS. I mean, this bike is truly a supermoto on steroids. I mean, a sub 300-pound bike that can be changed direction as quick as you think about it, with all of that torque and everything. The magazines and the press are really clamoring for this bike. We'll start doing tests here shortly. Speaking of tests, Rider Magazine has the first shootout ever done between a Zero SR and the new Victory Impulse, and I'm very proud to say that we win it handsomely. Rider Magazine is coming out this month, and in almost every category we exceed the Victory Impulse. We got very high marks for our performance, even though Victory markets their bikes as a performance bike. Our SR, actually has more performance, according to Rider Magazine. It's easier to ride. They loved our sophisticated simplicity design philosophy. Our price point was better. Our range was better. And like I said, and our app, the fact that we had an app that you could tune the bike on really sets us apart. So the first shootout has been done in the press between a Zero and a Victor, the new Victory, and Zero wins handsomely. So I'm going to stop right now talking and let you guys talk. I've asked my colleague Chris, who's been monitoring the questions that have been coming in, to start feeding questions to both Abe and I. So this is your guys' time to ask us everything you want to know about Zero motorcycles and what we've been up to here the last year, and all the hard work that we've been doing to get us to this point. So fire away.
All right, so the first question that we had was from a little bit earlier in the presentation, and it was from Emilio, and any chance to get the fast charging tank on the 2015 models?
Yes, the new charge tank is retrofittable back to model year 15, so it goes from 15 to 16.
Okay, we've got another question from John Rushworth. What is the peak efficiency of the new motor, and at what RPM does that occur? And there's a second part to that question after you get to the first, which is also, what would you say is the average efficiency on a spirited ride?
Okay. There are so many numbers to keep in my head that unfortunately I don't have all the breakdown. But let me give you some rough numbers. At 70 miles an hour, and let me just pull something up that I was just looking at to give you a better answer. Overall efficiency at 70 miles an hour is close to 90%, right? So when we're really pushing the vehicle, we're around 90% efficient overall. I hope that answers the question. Relative to peak efficiency or the RPM at which peak efficiency takes place, I believe it's around 4,000 RPM or so. I can look that up later and respond on the ZeroCast chat to clarify that if necessary.
Okay, so got another question here from Tom. Question is, why does the FX not have the new IPM motor?
It's a great question. The FX, the usage case for the FX is much more low speed, whether you're going on trails, whether you're commuting in the city. I personally own an FX, a model year 14 FX, and high speed riding, which is really where the motor shines, where the new motor shines, going, very high speeds on the freeway on an FX. It's just not a usage case that we typically see. So with the FXS and its street oriented usage, we focus that IPM motor on it versus the FX.
Okay, we've got a question here from Spencer. On the app front, any developments on that for 2016?
We're hard at it. There will be updates. It is something that we're actively working on.
Yeah, the app. I'll just add to the app that Abe's taken a personal interest in this, moving it forward. We realize we've fallen a little bit behind on some of the updates to it. Simply a case of Zero, having a big agenda on tap and trying to do so much with a small team. But we're focused on the updates to the 16, and I think we'll have some really good solutions out there and nice improvements to work with the bikes.
Okay. So we don't have any other further questions from the crowd right now.
Okay. Well, here's, guys, I'll just put up here real quick. Here's the Rider Magazine article that just came out. Again, first time that a shootout's been done between a Victory Impulse and the Zero, which we knew was coming, and again, we're very excited about. We do believe that this is something that was bound to happen, and we're really excited about the fact that Victory's stepping up in the marketplace. I think we've talked about that before. It definitely adds additional awareness around electric vehicles. It gives obvious credibility to what we're doing. We're sure that they're going to be developing other products as well. But the Rider Magazine article is out, and we highly recommend that you guys take a look at it.
Okay, now we got some more questions in. Here we go. And so there's a little bit of a delay, you guys, from when you send them in and when we see them. So here's a question from Tom. Can the FXS do wheelies?
Abe, can the FXS do wheelies, Abe?
I will answer it by saying that you got to be careful with not doing wheelies. How's that?
Yeah, I would say that bike, your driver's license is in real jeopardy with that bike, because the way that it works. Remember, we put the Diablo Rosso 2 tires on it because it's clear without much torque and that much light weight, getting it to hook up was essential. And putting the Diablo Rosso 2 tires is a good choice on it because it really allows you to get that power to the ground. We like to say that the bike changes direction faster than a cheetah shopping for groceries. I mean, that bike is amazing to ride, and man, you got to get out there and demo one.
All right, we got a question from John again. He is wondering about controller efficiency, Abe.
All right, I can answer that question. I'm looking it up as we speak. Again, overall, like I said before, overall efficiency at 70 miles an hour from the battery to the tire is about 90% for model year 16. So we're only talking about 10% efficiency loss from the battery to the rear tire. So let's see, controller about 1.6%. Well, actually, anyway, very low. Yeah, controller efficiency is quite high. Efficiency losses on the controller quite low. I should add that, with the new IPM motor, we had to develop, the team, Ryan's team, the entire team, we had to develop, new controller firmware to drive the new motor. We collaborated with Sepcon on this, and it really works quite nicely. So, not only, the fact that we are achieving the same power levels, on an IPM motor, but just the smoothness of it. If you thought that our bikes were smooth before, they're really, the control, the predictability of the control is just fantastic, with the new powertrain. So, and I should also add that, some of the firmware changes, they have to do with it, better control, or I should say more refined, that's a better word, more refined control, also appear on the bikes that get the surface mount motor, like the FX and the ZF 9.8 bikes. So anyway, so lots of controller work this year as well, even though we didn't highlight it.
Okay, we've got a question from, and I apologize for my pronunciation, I believe it's Giuseppe. Are you thinking about having a SIM on the bike to let the owner check the bike from a mobile phone, like a Tesla?
We're always looking at ways to improve the customer experience. We have the app now. It is a Bluetooth-based app, so it does limit, the ability of, how far you can be from the vehicle to obtain data. We're a small team. We have a ton of stuff that we're working on. We always have to prioritize based on what we're seeing, what you guys, the customers, what the demands are, what the wants are, the desires are, anticipating all that. So yes, we're always working on improving things, but we'll have to be prioritizing as we move along relative to the features that we're able to focus our efforts on.
Okay, we got a question from Joe. Which countries are your major target markets?
Well, I'll take that one. I mean, obviously, our home country, United States, is a major target market. We just held our global launch at AIM Expo in Orlando. We chose that over EICMA simply because we're an American-based company and we felt like we should be making this major announcement at the America's largest show. So USA is a serious market for us, but so is Europe. I mean, Germany, in order of importance, I would say Germany, France, Benelux, and Italy, which we entered the Italian market this past year, are real primary concerns for us. And we have direct market approaches in all four of those major markets. In addition to that, we've had a number of new distributors join us this year. We have distributors in Scandinavia. I just returned from Indonesia, where our distributor down there is making a huge investment in Zero motorcycles. In Jakarta, we have distributors in Turkey. We have a very strong distributor in Israel that's doing quite a bit, more and more with our police and fleet bikes. South Africa, did I say Turkey? Spain, Colombia, Ecuador, Chile. It's amazing the people that are contacting us that want to get involved with Zero at this point. But I hope I answered your question. USA, and there's certain 4 main markets in Europe that we're focused on. And those between the United States and Europe, it represents about 85% of our total sales, I would say, and it's almost equally split.
Okay, now we've got a question from King Charles. Can you provide some insight into why you chose not to release a full fairing model?
Yes, I can try to answer that as best I can. Again, it's a matter of resources and bandwidth and prioritization, and again, listening to the customers and all that. We're a fairly small company. We're a very passionate company, but we have to look at everything that we want to do, that we'd like to do, that we'd like to deliver to the marketplace based on what we hear from the marketplace. And at the end of the day, we can't do everything, right? So for model year 16, we did a battery. We realized, a lot of battery improvements, charging improvements, motor improvements, ergonomics improvements. There's just not enough resources to do everything. So we absolutely understand that that's something that some of you would like to see, and we are very much considering that as well. And we'll just have to look at that with respect to everything else that you guys would like to see, and we're considering and prioritize accordingly.
Yeah, and I'll just add, that's a great word, King Charles, and the more of that we hear and the more feedback we get from the marketplace, believe me, we are actively listening to what you guys are saying and taking that back to our board and to our investors in terms of what changes we'd like to make. When you say things like a fairing, we automatically think of huge investments in tooling that are required and design and testing and all of these things. It's no small project, and it's no small expense. We have to have a business case to go back to our investors and say that these are the things we need to invest in, along with all of the other things that we're trying to do. One of the tracks that we are taking, though, is we do have partners out there and other companies that are very interested in getting involved with this. And I think Abe mentioned previously, we even have guys like Mike Corbin, who is one of the world's leading producer of aftermarket seats and fairings that are actually working on aftermarket solutions for our products, which is great to see. So you might want to keep your eyes open for things like that in the near future.
Yeah, I will say this. I don't think that this is something that Mike would mind me saying, but Mike Corbin for those of you who know him or know about him, he bought an SR. He loves his SR. If you know Mike, poke him. Tell him that you guys would like to see an aftermarket fairing. That'd be great. We'd love to see that as well.
Yeah, I would just say, guys, I think you would be really surprised by, what you guys can do with just by reaching out to manufacturers and making suggestions. I mean, that stuff does get heard. I mean, the fact that we don't have it in the line this year doesn't mean that, we're not interested in it. We are, but it's just, a question of priorities and what we could get done in the time and resources available.
Okay, this will probably be the worst pronunciation I have for the question and answer session. So, question from Journey, possibly? Sorry about that. It sounds like the development has been focused on the motor for more power. Is this gained power putting more stress on the batteries? What about the expected lifetime of the cells?
Yeah, so actually, and maybe I confused you guys. So let me try again. The motor, the new IPM motor, is more efficient and doesn't produce any more power than last year's 13 through 15 motors. So it is actually easier on the battery, if you will, because it is a more efficient motor. You do have more thermal capability, so you can ride the bike faster. But we also have this new chemistry that we rolled out that is is much more efficient, and it's got the higher capacity. So we've been testing these vehicles on racetracks and especially the SR, the DSR. We've been testing really, really hard, and the cells are just fine. The cells are quite capable of delivering into the power requirements that our vehicles demand today.
Okay, so we got a couple distribution-related questions here. The first one is we have Ali Al-Mutawa, who says, Scott, don't forget us. Your distributor's in Kuwait.
Good grief. How did I do that? I can't even believe it, Ollie. I'm so sorry. Yes, Kuwait. I mean, one of the original distributors that we have. And I don't know. Take me out and shoot me. I should be hung up for that one.
All right. And then we got John Rushworth, who's asking, when will there be test bikes in the UK?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, we are trying, that's our next market in Europe that we're trying to break into. We're trying to overcome a few hurdles there, and, I would not be surprised to see something in the UK in the very near future. We're getting very close to making some announcements in that area. I can't say anything right now, but the UK is on our hit list of most important markets to penetrate moving forward.
Okay, we got a question from Bruno. Why not produce the colored plastic parts in other colors?
So every year we speak about colors. We make decisions on colors. We're a fairly small company, and we have a huge, very significant model line. As you guys see, for our size company, the number of models that we have is quite significant, and therefore we have to keep the complexity down as much as we can. So that's why all of our models at this point are available in single color. However, two things. First, we're introducing the accessory, bodywork color kit. So if you want to change the color of your bike, you'll be able to do that by purchasing one of these accessory kits. But beyond that, a lot of you guys out there are painting your bodywork, and you could choose whatever color you want that suits your fancy relative to the color you'd like your bike to be. So we do a lot of market research. We have a lot of conversations. We decide on colors for each model, but we can't fit everyone's desire. So there's always aftermarket and paint.
Now, Abe, Bruno notes that women ask for this.
We'll have a pink SR next year. How about?
Well, that might make Bruno and his this lady is asking for this happy. All right, so we've got a question from Emilio. Any plans to implement a traction control system on the SR and DSR?
Yeah, we're always working on things like that, advanced features. We have a very passionate team. We're all writers, the test writers really are the engineering team that are developing these bikes. We're racing on weekends. We're really committed to the sport. We're really committed to our product, and we're always looking at what additional enhancements we can create and develop for our model. So I can't divulge any future product plans, but man, oh man, if you guys can think of it, we're working on it, or at least we're thinking of it as well.
All right, Ali is asking, what about aftermarket accessories?
Sure. So, we have a broad line of aftermarket accessories that continues on. We now are releasing the charge tank, which is a new accessory. We also have a couple of additional accessories. We're doing a new that will be released later this year, but I'll go ahead and mention them. Some additional bodywork parts, such as a new screen for the SDS model. So we'll continue to look at that. Once again, small team, we can't do everything. More and more, we're looking for partners, to develop accessories, aftermarket accessories that they could develop on their own. So anyway, as we grow, you'll see more of that.
Okay, we've got a question from Bryce Nash. I'm confused with charging options on Zero products with increasing offerings and compatibility issues. Can you give us an overview of what you currently offer and where improvements are expected?
Sure. So very quickly. So the bikes come with an onboard charger. That's pretty clear. It charges the vehicle overnight. For those of us who are using the bike for commuting, you get home, you plug it in, or you get to the office, you plug it in, it charges while you're doing other things, and then it's ready for you when you go home. And that's great, right? For those who want to charge faster, we've had or offboard quick chargers, we call them, accessory quick chargers for some time. It's our best-selling accessory. You can gang these up. So if you want to charge almost twice as quickly on an SDS, and certainly more than twice as quickly on the FX, you buy one of these 1 kilowatt Delta Q chargers, and you can plug into the auxiliary charge port to complement the onboard charging. For most of our models, you can gang those up to 4 of them of these things, so you can get charge times down to about 2 hours. Most of the people who do that, or most of the customers who do that, are fleet customers who may have some faster charging needs. What we're introducing this year is onboard faster charging, versus the offboard that we've been offering for the last few years, which is this charge tank that goes on the S and the DS, retrofittable back to model year 15. And it effectively triples the charging power that's available on those bikes when using J1772 AC charging infrastructure. I hope that answers the question.
Mm-hmm. And John Rushworth, who asked the highly technical questions earlier, says, good efficiency optimization, and thanks. So,
no worries. So let me just confirm that the controller loss at 70 miles an hour is around 1.6%, so, very efficient. And also confirm that our peak efficiency is at 4,000 RPM.
All right. King Charles has another question. Have you ever looked at integrating a multifunction throttle like the Vectrix had, so you can have full control on regeneration and a reverse?
Yeah. So once again, these are concepts that we've considered. and we will continue to consider, but they have not been, they have not reached the priority level of other concepts, of other ideas, of other things that we've developed over the years to satisfy, customer demand. So, yes, we think that that's also a very interesting concept. Personally, I really love the way our vehicles work today with the adjustability of region via the app and all the things that we provide today. But we'll continue to look at it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would just add to Dave's thing. I mean, there's a lot of things out there and a lot of corner cases that you could look at and say, wouldn't that be nice or wouldn't this be nice? But at the end of the day, you have to make business decisions about what provides the most value for the greatest number of consumers. And, we are at a point now, and I would have to, again, just with compliments to the engineering team to what they've been able to accomplish, at the core competency of what we're trying to do here, which is create the world's most advanced electric motorcycle, we're starting, you can check the box, the best battery ever, we got it. The best motor ever, we got it. The best use of the controller ever, I think we have it. So in the core competency areas, we're clearly leading the field. And in fact, I'll just take a moment here, and I'm going to read you the final paragraph from the Rider magazine article. And I really think that this sums it up. And it doesn't mean that we don't have work to do. Certainly we have a lot more work to do. But it says here from Rider, electric bikes have come a long way in the past few years in terms of performance, range, and design, as both of these bikes demonstrate, referring to the Victory Impulse and the Zero. He says, while the Victory Impulse TT has sportier styling and ergonomics, I debate that, and higher spec components, but the Zero SR is the clear winner here. It's lighter, makes more horsepower and torque, is more comfortable, has smoother power delivery and more range, and comes with standard ABS. Zero also has a free smartphone app that connects to the bike via Bluetooth for tracking performance parameters and adjusting top speed, maximum torque, and regen in eco mode. With the base price of $15,995 and as tested at a price of $18,490 with power tank, the Zero also undercuts the Victory's $20,000 price tag. So, the Victory, it says at the end, the Victory falls short of the Zero for now, but we expect Polaris will put significant financial and engineering muscle towards closing the gap. So we've already created a gap between ourselves and the competition with what we have now, and that's by focusing on the core competencies that we really have to master. We'll continue to explore there, but I think you'll see that we're going to be in a better position moving forward to start to look at some of these more corner type cases and more exotic things that we can do to the bike. So we've laid a good foundation, and we can only go up from here.
Yeah, I think we're starting to run a little bit out of time, so let me just close by saying, we love to hear from you guys. We do take your opinions to heart. Every year we do. I mean, the reason that we advance the product like we have it is because we're listening to you guys, and we're really listening to our customers, to our dealers, to our distributors, and also paying, very, very close attention to what's happening technology-wise, and making sure that the technology that we implement is as value-add as possible to the consumer. We can't do everything, unfortunately. I mean, if we had a much larger team, we could do more. But we believe we're focusing on the areas that have the greatest impact on our consumer base, and hopefully, as the customer base grows larger and larger, we'll be able to do more and more. So thank you for your questions and your opinions, and we look forward to delivering more and more as we move forward. We are not resting. We are absolutely, we continue to be, full throttle, and full electric throttle, and we'll continue to innovate, and we'll continue to make sure that our bikes remain as competitive as they could possibly be.
So I do see a few questions here. I don't think we're going to have a chance to get to them all this time. But we're going to get to these questions eventually.
Yeah, guys, we're at the end of the session here, and we have a little bit of a hard close. We have a lot of stuff going on here at Zero this week. I will say this: we can't thank you enough for you taking your time, which is a very limited resource we know, to spend time with us to do these things. We are questioning ourselves all the time about the ZeroCast and what we need to do. Should we be doing PowerPoint presentations? Should we get rid of that and just talk to you guys? Is that what you want to do? Do you have specific topics that you're interested in? I'll let you know right now that for the next 2 ZeroCasts, we're kind of tentatively targeting a ZeroCast with Luke Workman, our chief battery engineer here, to really do a deep dive into batteries, followed by Ryan to do a really deep dive into our motor technology. But there again, is that what you guys want to hear about? We really want this ZeroCast to be something that's useful to you. It shouldn't be an infomercial for Zero motorcycles. It should be something that's helpful, that helps you understand about the technology, about the lifestyle, about the sport, about what we're doing here. So we really need your feedback. You've already been gracious enough with your time to spend time with us here today. So thank you very much. Please send us some more comments. We have one.
Yeah. Tom asked a very important question, which is, when are these actually available?
Yeah, the new 16s will be in the dealerships in North America here within the next 30 days. We're building them now. We're shipping some of the initial products going to Europe. So by the end of November, they should be in dealerships and available for test rides. It'll start on the West Coast and work its way east. But certainly within the next 60 days, there'll be Zeros out for demo rides and available for purchase, everywhere, at least in North America. It'll take it a little bit longer for them to get out to the rest of the world. So, once again, thank you very much for your time today. Please send us your comments and suggestions about future ZeroCasts. Get out there and ride, have fun, and enjoy yourself, but most of all, be safe. And look forward to you having back for the next ZeroCast. Thanks, and have a good day. Bye, Abe.
Bye-bye. Bye.